This is great and is no doubt the best source of inspiration for non-geniuses all around the world. Now, my summary for this book is passion and perseverance achieve anything. So today we'll explore first what Dr. Angela Duckworth calls the equation of achievement. Then we'll look at the 4 components of grit that she observed from hundreds of gritty people. And finally, we'll explore how to make grit automatic. This book right here is a roadmap indeed. You ready? Part 1, the equation of achievement. From talent to achievement, there are 2 equations. First, talent times effort equals skill. Then skill times effort equals achievement. So let's have some definition of terms. Talent is how quickly our skills improve when we invest effort. So given identical circumstances where we have 2 people practicing the same things on a keyboard for 1 week, if at the end of the week, one person plays at level 5 and the second person plays at level 3, then we'll say that the first person is more talented. Now, an achievement, on the other hand, is what happens when we take our acquired skills and use them. I'm sure you noticed that effort factors twice into these equations. So first of all, it turns talent into a skill. If not, the talent remains as mere potential. And it also makes that skill to now become productive. Personally, I've also seen these equations play out. So the more I made YouTube videos, the better the videos became. That's the first equation. Now, at the same time, the number of good videos I've created has gradually increased, which is the second equation. You might have gotten the impression that effort is really important. So do we just go about working very hard? Now, Angela says no. That's not what grit is about. Specifically, she said, grit is about working on something you care about so much that you're willing to stay loyal to it. Now, this shows us the 2 things that make up grit: passion and perseverance. Now, this might be weird, but passion doesn't mean intensity of emotions, like I'm speaking passionately right now. Instead, it means consistency over time. To understand both passion and perseverance, Angela introduces us to this hierarchy of goals. The top level goal is our life philosophy. For example, mine is to teach people how to become great. At the next layer are the mid-level goals, which are ways that we achieve the top level: growing a 5 million subscriber YouTube channel, writing a New York Times best-selling book, building an online university. Now, the lower level goals are ways to achieve the mid-level goal. Talking about the one of YouTube, some low-level goals could be reading this book, great, scripting a video on it, creating and posting the video. So the highest goal, which is the top level goal, is an end in itself, but the others are means to that end. From this, we can see that passion is holding on to the same top level goal for a very long time, while perseverance is experimenting and trying out different approaches on the low and mid-level goals, no matter the number of rejection slips that you receive. So if I take the time, read a book, make a video about it, upload it on YouTube, and the video does not do so well, perseverance is me studying that video, learning from it, and then posting another one next week. So let's now define grit. Grit is having a passion to accomplish a particular top level goal and the perseverance to follow through. After Angela interviewed so many men and women who epitomize passion and perseverance, she noticed a pattern, which is part 2, the 4 components of grit. They all possess 4 things: interest, practice, purpose, and hope. You probably heard the popular advice, follow your passion, or the opposing camp that says, be practical, passion not the put food for table. From scientific evidence though, we can make 2 conclusions. First, people are enormously more satisfied with their jobs when they do something that fits their personal interests. Now, this highlights satisfaction or happiness. Second, people perform better at work when what they do interests them. This highlights productivity. Now, these 2 conclusions were reached after aggregating 160 different studies conducted over 60 years. So how do you foster a passion? Or asked a different way, what do you do if you can do so many things decently well and don't know if you're passionate about anything? Short answer, look for what you're not bored doing. So here's the long answer that Angela gives. Paradoxically, the initial discovery of an interest often goes unnoticed by the discoverer. In other words, when you just start to get interested in something, you may not even realize that's what's happening. The emotion of boredom is always self-conscious. You know it when you feel it. But when your attention is attracted to a new activity or experience, you may have very little reflective appreciation of what's happening to you. Interests are not discovered through introspection. So you have to experiment and relate with the world and see what gets your attention. It reminds me of a quote by Joseph Conrad that says, "I don't like work. No man does. But I like what is in the work, the chance to find yourself. You shouldn't also try to will yourself to like things. Just as Jeff Bezos said, one of the huge mistakes people make is that they try to force an interest on themselves. Interest discovery is just the first part though. There's still more. Passion for your work is a little bit of discovery, followed by a lot of development, and then a lifetime of deepening. This leads us to practice. Practice is not just merely more time on a task. Like for 11 years, I've been typing every week on a keyboard, but I couldn't type more than 35 words per minute. So instead of me getting 11 years of experience, I was getting 1 year of experience 11 times in a row. So it's not just about the quantity of time devoted to our interests, but also the quality of time. This is called deliberate practice, a name given by Professor Erickson, who we call the world expert on world experts. And there are 4 components that make up the way experts practice. First, a clearly defined stretch goal. So for example, that could be me saying I'll finish and summarize this book in a week. Second, they put in full concentration and effort. So this means I have to take out time to read and write notes on what I'm reading about. Number 3, there is immediate and informative feedback. In this case, it's more like how many pages does the book have? And if I divide that by the number of days, how many pages am I supposed to read every day? Finally, there is repetition and refinement. So I continue working on building the habit of reading a book every week until it becomes second nature. These 4 components of deliberate practice apply to every skill: writing, music, sports, chess, medicine, magic, you name it, it's applicable. To carry this interest through our lifetime so as to deepen it, we need purpose. Purpose, according to our Gritty Dictionary, means to contribute to the well-being of others. It's about having something beyond just ourselves, like our children, our family, our clients, our spouse, the country, the sports, science, society. Anything beyond just us has been seen to be a tremendously powerful source of motivation. I've heard so many variations of this bricklayer story. So here's one for you from this book. 3 bricklayers are asked, "What are you doing?" The first says, "I'm laying bricks." The second says, "I'm building a church." While the third says, "I'm building the house of God." Angela says that the first bricklayer has a job, while the second has a career, and the third has a calling. So which of the 3 do you belong to? Do we see our jobs as just a necessity of life, more like breathing or sleeping? Or do we see our job primarily as a stepping stone to other jobs? Or do we see our work as one of the most important things in our lives? So you see that it's the same bricklaying job, but different ways that they viewed it. So when we begin to see the big picture of how our work connects to other people, the work begins to transform from a job to a career, then to a calling. This book was so good, I had to combine the physical copy to the audiobook on script. They are not sponsoring this video, by the way. If you'd like to get the physical copy of this book, the link is in the description below. Finally, hope. This is not the kind of hope where we expect tomorrow to be better than today. Instead, it is where we expect that our efforts today will make tomorrow to be far better. Angela puts it in a better way. The hope that gritty people have has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with getting up again. On our way to achieving anything, we will have setbacks. Hope is you getting up just one more time after every setback. One major thing that determines your ability to rise up again after every setback is the kind of mindset you have. Now let's play a short game. I'll read out 4 statements to you, and then you decide if you agree or you disagree with each of them. Your intelligence is something very basic about you that you can't change very much. Second, you can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are. Third, no matter how much intelligence you have, you can always change it quite a bit. Fourth, you can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Welcome back. If you agreed to the first 2 statements, then it shows a fixed mindset. But if you agreed to the last 2 statements, then you have a growth mindset. Angela expands on them this way. With a fixed mindset, you're likely to interpret your setbacks as evidence that after all, you don't have the right stuff. You're not good enough. But with a growth mindset, you believe that irrespective of the setbacks, you can learn to do better. So how can we develop hope? First, adopt a growth mindset. Then, practice optimistic self-talk. So the conversation that goes on in your head should be full of optimism. You should be your greatest cheerleader. And finally, learn to ask for a helping hand, because people are more willing to help than we might think. Now, there are people that have done the things that you want to do. So you can look out for either idols or coaches or mentors based on your level of access. Finally, part 3, making great automatic. Dan Chambliss, one of the sociologists that Angela interviewed while writing the book, he himself studied a lot of competitive swimmers, and he said, so it seems to me that there's a hard way to get great and an easy way. The hard way is to do it by yourself, which is all we've been talking about since the beginning of this video. The easy way is to use conformity, the basic human drive to fit in, because if you're around a lot of people who are gritty, you're going to act grittier. If you think about it, this works very well because of our human nature. We naturally love to fit in. In the long run, culture usually has a way of shaping our identity. So it changes from the way we do things around here to the way I do things. If one of the things you do is to subscribe when you've gotten value from a video, then the button is below beckoning on you to take action. It also applies if you're in a reading group where they read for 5 hours in a stretch. Initially, it might be hard for you, but after a while, that's what you'll be doing as well. So how about you finding a gritty group in your area of interest that you can join? And then watch this video here to see the magic of thinking big while on your gritty journey.